Let's dive into Kathy O. Yo, welcome to the Elite Table Talk, where we unpack health professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs, and just everyday people, and looking at their lifestyle, their mindset, their routines, and we see what they have done to help them move forward and really just get more time back in the day. Most people say there's 24 hours in the day, but there's really 16 because we sleep for 8. But how do we get the most out of those 16? So grab a pen, get some paper, let's make some notes. Let's see what we can get from this episode today. Let's go. So we're starting with Kathy O now from the wellness, the high-performing dietitian space and breath work. Let's dive in back to the top. So I like Pudgy Carl. Pudgy Carl is me, so I'm the only one that can get offended by that one. And Kathy, 24 weeks. What is a realistic weight loss goal in your area when someone works with you?
I think a lot is going to overlap between us, but it depends on the client, definitely, and the goals that we set. Like, I like to ask the client, like, I have a lady that over 12 months wants to lose 20 kilos, right? So what are your expectations? What do you see that you want to do? What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to be in 12 months from now? I don't like to set limits or in terms of numbers as well. So when I was a dietitian, it was within the first few months that I started practicing that I kind of was like, this scale is not helping. I see people, I see how they feel when they step on a scale, and I focus more on what do you want to feel? How do you want to look? Let's not worry about the numbers yet. I understand that once you're done, once you get through like 6 months of your journey, depending on how much weight you want to lose, 6 months, a year, and you start dialing in what we say, dial in a little bit leaner, and you start getting more into the athletic performance side of things, the macros and the scale weight are going to become a little bit more important here. So if we're dealing with Pudgy Carl, we're looking at more of the habits that got you here. We're looking at more of the holistic approach across, I call them the 6 pillars to wellness. So we're looking at nutrition, we're looking at sleep habits, movement. How much are you moving? Are you moving? How much are you sleeping? When are you sleeping? Are you working night shifts? That's going to impact your metabolism. Nutrition wise, are you eating whole foods or processed foods here? And again, a lot of this is education as well. And then we have optimizing the stress response, understanding that stress is normal and we can use it to our benefit. That's why we want to optimize it and use it. Light therapy and nature, I call this nature deficit disorder as well, actually getting outside and getting some natural light. And mindset or spirituality, depending on what the client actually resonates with better. I'll be talking about spirituality, or we're going to go more of that mindset, performance, discipline. So I will adjust my approach to the client.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not so much about the number for you. It's more about maybe the numbers guy, I would say the metrics, from the sun to the stress to the sleep to the habits and the rituals that someone's used.
It's about the journey, Carl, isn't it? It's about who is the person that you want to become. So it's really, let's take a step back, look at the grand vision, the grand plan, the vivid vision. Who is the person that you want to become and create yourself to be? What does that person look like? What does that person do? How does that person feel? And then we're going to get into, okay, where's the gap here? What do you need to be doing to get there? And it's really having those micro wins. And I find it easier for myself to compartmentalize, may not necessarily be how I talk to the client, depending on how they are understanding things, but focusing on 3 tasks at a time, focusing on 1 pillar at a time. And here's the thing is that they all interrelate anyway. So you focus on one thing, it's going to be like a domino effect.
All right. Well, then let's probably break that down then into, let's start with diet plan or nutrition. What would you recommend for someone over a 24-week period to help them with losing weight?
So when it comes
reshaping themselves?
Yeah. So again, it depends on their baseline. Where are they at? What are they doing? What are their habits? Especially when it comes to dieting. And we all have our own understanding and connotations to the word diet. And in modern society, it is a lot of I'm going to cut out, I'm going to suppress, I'm going to be in a caloric deficit. Well, with most of my clients, I find that we need to redefine what dieting means. And I really want them to have a different perception on this in terms of let's eat healthy, whole foods. Let's take away all the processed foods because there's nothing nutritious in there. We want to be fueling the body, our temple, with nutrition. We want to be feeling better. So we need to be actually eating better. I like to use the car analogy. You know, you wouldn't put E10 in a Porsche. So start treating yourself like that Porsche and put in premium fuel, which is whole foods, real foods, anything that grows on a tree, anything that grows in the ground, anything that grows on a shrub, anything that was once swimming or running around, real food. Yes, maybe there will be some packaged foods for convenience, and these will be single ingredient things. So when you turn it over, you'll know it says beans, right? It says chickpeas, it says red kidney beans, it says tuna, 100%. It has no numbers, it has no preservatives, no additives, no colorings, because we know that these things interact in the body. They are chemicals. Your body is just chemicals and chemical reactions.
What about chocolate?
Well, again, it can be single ingredient, right?
Yeah.
Personally, I love 90%, 95% lint. So it's looking at that high quality foods. Fuel. What are you fueling yourself with? What are you putting into these chemical reactions that are happening in your body? Because this is going to have an effect again on gut health. And this is going to have again an effect. Bianca's going to talk about hormones. Our gut health is so important when it comes to our hormonal balance. And then we have the gut-brain axis as well.
Oh, don't start there. All day. So with that, so it sounds like there's not really it's not really a diet plan. You're looking at making a plan to shape the future. So we're bringing that future person to now and starting to fuel the machine with those foods today.
And the easiest way that I can explain this is the research shows, and time again, the Mediterranean diet keeps coming out on top. And the thing with the Mediterranean diet nowadays is that most people have westernized the Mediterranean diet. My parents are woke. We come from Croatia, and they think that they eat the Mediterranean diet. Look, over time, I've taught them, retaught them what the Mediterranean diet is. However, it used to be like predominantly like just a whole lot of meat. And slowly I've introduced them to vegetables. So the Mediterranean... The Mediterranean diet is actually like a whole lot of fruit, vegetables, grains. They actually only eat red meat once a month, and poultry and fish is actually also occasional. So it's like every second day. Eggs and yogurt as well, the same. And again, it's the education, it's changing perspectives, it's the understanding that this can be done, and people have been doing this for years, and this is how they stayed healthy as well. So a lot of people, when they come to me, they think that I'm going to be the food police and take food away from them, when I end up adding good quality sources of food, and then there's no suppression here. They're actually not feeling hungry. It's more like, I have to eat again. And when it comes to the counting, like, we're not actually counting grams, we're counting servings. Like, are you getting 2 to 3 serves of fruit a day? What is a serve of fruit? Are you getting 4 to 8 serves of grains? Depending on the movement, depending on the build of the person, depending on the stage that they're in their life, like their age as well, depending on stress levels. Are we getting good quality, healthy fats here? Are we getting lean proteins? And looking at the balance on the plate and the color, which again comes back to gut health and variety.
What about training though? So we've got the food side. Mediterranean diet it's been westernized, and you've just educated us a bit on we should probably eat a little less meat. What about training, cardio, running, swimming?
Yeah. And I want to make it really clear that when it comes to how we are eating, there are times that we will use strategies. So particular types of diets can be a strategy at particular times. Like you're on a cleanse at the moment. So there are times that I'll be higher carb versus times that I'll be lower carb, depending on what's going on with my training as well. And then some people might want to try the carnivore diet for a while, which is all meat. And again, it depends what's the goal, what do we want to get out of this? That's really important to keep in mind when we're trialing things and seeing how the body's going to respond. And a lot of people come in with intolerances as well. So when it comes to increasing those fiber sources from fruits and vegetables and grains, it's being really mindful. We don't want to trigger any intolerances when, especially around leaky gut syndrome. They might not have that microbiome built up yet. So it's about going low and slow. We're not just going to dive straight in. It's what's your baseline? What can we tolerate? How can we build the health of your gut microbiome and that gut lining? Once those microbes are there, then you'll be able to better tolerate and digest foods. I just really wanted to make that clear as well. When it comes to movement, so to make it really simple, I say let's nail the recommendations first. Australian Guide to Healthy Eating and recommendations for movement. Just the guidelines. Let's nail that. Let's make you a generally healthy person. When it comes to movement, we want to move 30 minutes a day. We want to be getting 10,000 steps a day, and we want to be minimizing periods of sitting. That's what I get them to focus on when it comes to movement. Even if it takes a whole month or 2 months to nail that, focus. If you want to do anything extra, or if you currently have an exercise program that you follow, great. We'll have a look at that. We'll fit that in as well. But are you nailing the 10,000 steps a day? Are you moving at least 30 minutes a day? And those sitting periods, are you minimizing them? Are you moving your body? Are you getting up? Like, are you parking your car further away from the entry into the store? Little habits like that are going to be brought up to make those changes, to make you into the person that you want to become. Because these are the things that high performers do. Like, they are so natural to us. We don't even think about these things. We don't have to think about the balance of our plate anymore, because it's who I am. Maybe every now and again I do, and I check myself. However, it just becomes your new normal. This is normal. It's normal for me to park further away from the entry. It's normal for me to balance my plate. It's normal for me to eat the Mediterranean way. I don't need a diet. It's normal.
Well, once we've normalized, obviously, the healthy habits, and we've created that routine of moving and parking the car further away, what about health conditions? Are there any setbacks there that you would possibly expect to see as someone's dieting down to lose that weight, or refeeding too much?
So
not refeeding too much, starting to eat more nutrient dense foods that will support the gut, the microbiome that you're talking about.
Absolutely. And again, this comes to our relationship with our body and our relationship with food. I talk about the diet cycle. I talk about when people want to go on a diet and lose weight. They're like, oh, I'm a bit overweight. I want to lose this weight, so I'm going to restrict. So I'm going to cut out. And this is the first, when we start to cut out foods, when we start to restrict, our ghrelin naturally goes up. So this is our hunger hormone. Ghrelin goes up, we start to feel hungrier, we have increased appetite, and as a result, our gut microbiome also starts to diminish. When we cut out foods and we start restricting, we start diminishing our gut microbiome. And then when we get into this stage, and we have these food cravings, this leads to the sneaky little, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that, and we start binging or overeating. And then once we're here, now, oh, damn it, I've ruined it. I've had a cookie. Now I'm just going to have the whole bag or the whole jar. And then guilt and shame comes in. And then we vow to get better and do better and be better. And we start the whole cycle again. The two main things that I tell people that we need to do when we find ourselves in this diet cycle, to exit the diet cycle, we need to check ourselves. We need to check our self-talk. What am I telling myself? So these food cravings are going to be real depending on your baseline, because my normal is not your normal. depending on your baseline and what you've been eating, how much weight you want to lose. Some cravings may come up, even with cleansers. You might get some headaches, right? You might get a bit grumpy, mood swings. What's going on? What's your self-talk? Are you telling yourself that you're dreading this, that you hate this, that this is too hard? Or are you telling yourself, this is what I want to do? I want to see these changes. I want to lose the weight. I want to make this my new normal. Eating healthy is my new normal. Check your self-talk. That's number one. And number two is seek guidance. If you feel like you can't check your self-talk and you can't get yourself out of this with positive self-talk and encouragement and that motivation, you need to seek guidance in your coach. Who have you got leading you through this? Who have you got helping you with the self-talk? Who's your mirror? Who's helping you? Yeah. And of course, in terms of, I think you asked like just medical stuff as well. What's the client dealing with apart from this? Because a lot of my clients, being a dietitian, they're going to have metabolic syndrome, they're going to have high blood pressure, they're going to have maybe type 2 diabetes. There's going to be a whole host of other stuff that we need to take into consideration, and diet, disease relationships, and gut health, and intolerances. And this is why, generally speaking, we don't do this alone.
Don't do it alone. Yeah. Questions from anyone? Cool. You just touched on a bit of motivation and self-talk there and having check-ins. What are some strategies that you would have in checking in with the coach or checking in with you?
Yeah, I loved when you asked Reese this, and I was just literally in my head. I was like, just show up. The client needs to make a commitment to themselves to show up.
Yeah, show up.
For those check-ins, even when you feel shame and guilt, and when you feel like you've messed up, probably you haven't messed up. It's just a perception again. Taking steps back is part of the process. We all mess up. We all have stress. We all have things happen in our life. And hard things do happen, and having that person to share that with, to be your mirror, to hold space for you, a safe place where then you can move forward. So the biggest thing when it comes to motivation and keeping that movement traction, and I say success breeds success, and I'm sure I wasn't the first one to say this, success breeds success, and forward momentum and movement, it's about showing up.
Okay. And how, over a 24-week journey, how often should someone be checking in? Like, what would your recommendation be?
So in the beginning, I get my clients to come in fortnightly. So in the beginning, it's all about the foundation work. It's all about the structure. Structure creates safety. It's all about the education. It's all about the 6 pillars to wellness. So, and looking at their nutrition and their movement habits, sleep, the things that I said before. And really me getting to know their mindset as well. So this is why it's fortnightly, and each fortnight I see them, it's about giving them 3 tasks to work on in that fortnight, realistic. And we don't want to be giving them too much in the one time. We want little micro goals. We want them to see that they are making improvements. How are you feeling? And then I do give them the option of, you can shoot me an email, you can shoot me a DM, and I'll get back to you when I can. In the meantime as well, I'll send you a voice message. So there will probably be little droplets of check-ins throughout those 2 weeks when I'm not seeing them face to face over video call. And then again, this is the first 3 months I find very important for the interaction to be fortnightly. And then we might talk about monthly, depending on who the person is again, depending on how they're going. This is why I have the package deals are all about the service that I provide, but also for the client to see the results that they want to see. So I can take them confidently on that journey. And then are we going to be going into breath work? Are we going to be, so the breath work journey is a 3-month journey where I say we breathe. So breathe is having actual breath work session one-on-one. So the 3-month journey that I've created is we breathe weekly, and then we take a week off the 4th week. And then we breathe, take a week off, and then 4 weeks in a row. And a
So
breathe.
hang on, wait, just breathe for 3 weeks and then don't breathe for a week. Got it.
So a breathe refers to one breath work session. And a one-on-one breath work session is actually 2 hours, because there is 30 minutes of spiritual psychology, which is the neuro-linguistic programming that I use in my consults anyway, which is all about intention setting, which is all about delving into the subconscious mind again, bringing to the conscious, the unconscious. So we'll have a little chat beforehand. Then the breath work itself, the breathe itself, is about 45 minutes to an hour, hour and a half, depending on the person. This is what we call an energy cycle. We're moving energy throughout the body. The breath is doing the work. So the person is learning to heal themselves, to move energy, stuck energy, stale energy. Those neuropeptides, which is emotions in the body, get stuck as neuropeptides in organs. They actually have a chemical makeup. I'm fascinated with this stuff, by the way. And then we have 30 minutes of integration at the end of a breathwork session, 30 minutes of integration to have a look at what actually happens. So during this breathe, you can have physical experiences, emotional, energetic, downloads, visions, chats with people that have passed away. There's like so much that can happen in a breathwork journey. And the whole purpose of this is to realign yourself. It is, again, to make a new normal for yourself. What happens after this is we're literally rewiring the body. So you're getting back into alignment with your values and your beliefs and with that vision that you've created for yourself. So after a breathwork session, there's going to be a whole lot of forward movement and also resistance. There is resistance in forward movement because there's your old self and your new self. Your old self or your current self and the habits that you're so used to, you're going to be asked to let that go as you create and move forward towards your new self. So you're going to be looking at things like, who am I surrounding myself with? Who are the people that are uplifting me? What are the foods that I want around me in my house? What have I given myself access to? How can I make this easier for myself to become this new person that I want to be? It's all about aligning. It's all about aligning values, beliefs, habits into becoming this new person until, again, it's just going to become who you are, your new normal, your new identity.
So through creating a new normal, so as you've just said, check-ins, it can vary depending on the work that someone does with you. Though, okay, well, we're getting better at our breathing. We've created a new norm. What about supplements? So breathing, Mediterranean diet, nourishing the body. Are there certain supplements that you can add into this journey to help nourish the body even further or accelerate that process?
Absolutely. So when it comes to supplements, comes back to nutrition, comes back to what are we fueling ourselves, and it comes back to the science of things. So it comes back to physiological level, what's happening. Depends on the client. Again, it's going to be very individualized. However, my top 3 that I get everybody on, magnesium, a good quality magnesium. Magnesium is involved in over 600 enzyme reactions in the body, and the quality of our food is not what it used to be. The quality of our soil is not what it used to be. We need more magnesium. Everybody should be taking good quality magnesium. Shout out to Designs for Health with the TriMag. That stuff gets my clients sleeping so well. Then omega-3s, a good quality omega-3, anti-inflammatory. We are not eating enough fish. Even if you're eating 2 to 3 serves of fish per week, as is recommended by the guidelines, it's not enough omega-3s. Your brain, your nervous system, all this rewiring that I'm talking about, neuroplasticity, the nervous system is literally, the foundation of it is omega-3s. So if you are on this journey of rewiring, creating new neurons, neuroplasticity in the brain, in the body, you need omega-3s. And the third one, I've lost myself. Omega-3s,
magnesium,
the magnesium, and vitamin D is going to be depending on whether they are deficient or not. Very often I get them on vitamin D for energy purposes as well. There was a third one.
breath work.
breath work. And then I'll just throw out a few more supplements that I like to consider, like ashwagandha, really good for the nervous system, and to optimize stress levels as well. Again, improving sleep as well. Also when it comes to hormone balancing as well. What else do I like to consider? Depending on where the client is, if they're having more hormonal stuff, depending on whether they need to, again, the liver, what's happening with the cholesterol, what's happening with the liver processes and detoxifies, a lot of those hormones get stuck there. So actually like caffeine, Reese mentioned caffeine before, especially in women, caffeine and estrogen actually compete for processing in the liver. So if a woman is consuming a little bit too much, and in the corporate world, this might happen, we're going a little bit overboard. I've been there, done that. We're actually going to build up estrogen, and I'm sure Bianca can speak to this even more. We build up estrogen, and this is what causes our PMS symptoms to be even more severe. So we might want something to support the liver, like a milk thistle, or even doing a detox. I like to combine breath work with actually doing like a supplement detox, which helps the liver, the bowels, generally everything really. So we're adding in lots of good nutrition. It's more the herbal stuff, right? So we've got,
just to cut you there, Kathy, because you're starting to go to different tangents on potential side effects. So this like ties into the next question, which is, if you could probably talk to it. So things like muscle loss or PMS or cognitive decline, can we probably get some side effects that people can expect, and what kind of as you're saying a little bit more on the detox side with too much caffeine is milk thistle. So could we rapid fire maybe that is, I have a fear of losing muscle. What would your recommendation be there? Can we do a few side effects that way?
Yeah, let's do that. So in
Muscle
terms
loss?
of in terms of retaining muscle, so notice that I switch your question to straight away, what do we mean by muscle loss? We want to retain muscle as much as possible. Let's go in with a nice collagen with, again, are you getting enough protein, first of all? Are you going to need a protein powder? A lot of my clients don't need a protein powder. They're getting enough, but it's more the collagen and supporting in the gut health as well. So now you're thinking gut health. So now you're thinking leaky gut. So now we're thinking, what are the things that are going to help support our microbiome? Are we looking at probiotics, or are we looking at more of a gut lining type supplementation? Like there's beautiful, this one is probably one of the ones that are combination that have herbal stuff in it that's going to help strengthen that gut lining. And it's all about those short chain fatty acids, again, the science behind it, which I talk about in one of my microbiome masterclasses. Cognition.
Cognitive decline?
Yeah, like we want to improve cognition, especially if you're going through like a cleanse or a detox, and you want to stay really sharp. I'm thinking magnesium threonate. I'm thinking alpha-theanine as well, L-theanine, so more of the alpha brain waves to help you concentrate and bringing down a little bit of the anxious energy as well.
Hunger-wise.
Hungry.
Craving.
If you're feeling hungry, I'm looking at how much are you suppressing yourself. We really shouldn't be feeling very hungry. It again depends with women, where are they in their cycle, because leading up to your period, you're burning more calories, so you need more energy. So if that hunger is coming in, like we're meant to be eating more, we're preparing for a shed. So it's again, we don't want to be dramatically cutting weight and dramatically cutting the calories, because that's just going to lead to those cravings of that diet cycle again. So we're making healthy normal, where it's more about the habits. Yeah. So I'm questioning why are we so hungry? Are you not getting enough sleep? Are you not getting enough sunlight? Are you not getting enough nature? Stress levels, right? So I'm like, what's the root cause of this? Yeah.
Okay. And then we've got all these symptoms coming across, then I guess if we reframe back to how you're nourishing the body, you're working on the breath and getting the body to just let go and just be its new self. What are some of the effects or responses you would expect in the first 4 weeks working with like these strategies? Should I see a 5 kilo drop, or what should I be expecting to see?
It depends on the person. So, haha. But here's the thing. When I speak to my clients and when we start this journey together, I tell them, like with this lady, to reach her goal of losing 20 kilos in 12 months, she needs to lose 1.66 kilos a month. That is very realistic, 1.66 kilos a month to get to her goal of minus 20 in 12 months. So
Well, can you then summarize the top 3 strategies that you'll be using with this person that we could start to use today?
What I really want to highlight though is that some months she'll hit that, some months she won't. Some months it will be higher, some months it'll be 5, some months it will be 1.
Yeah.
And this journey is going to reflect the journey that she has within herself. The outside matches our inside. What's happening within herself and to what degree and to what rate she is changing that definition of herself, of her identity. This is how, when it's the mindset, it's the spirituality, it's the mindset, it's what we're thinking about ourselves. So I'm going to use her an example. I haven't heard from her in 6 months, and she comes back and wants to work with me now. And the top thing that she kept telling herself is that it's going to be too hard. That going to the gym and toning up, she's going to have loose skin, that it's going to be too hard. She sees me training and she's like, that's too hard. And it's like, my normal is not your normal. And guess what? It's not hard. I enjoy it. I've gotten to a point where this is just what I love to do. And you'll get to that point too. It's not where you're meant to be right now. So let's take that off the table. Let's focus on the first 6 months and just the habits and just the nutrition. Don't even think about stepping into a gym yet. And suddenly, mindset shift. Now it's easy. She's not putting that pressure on herself. And this is why it's gonna depend on the person, how fast they're gonna see their results. And she might get 3 months in and be like, okay, I want to go to a gym now, because her confidence is being built, because she's changing the definition of herself, because she's doing all the things. And this all comes back to the subconscious and the unconscious. Some people call it unconscious, some people call it subconscious, but your subconscious mind actually drives the blueprint of your perfect health. Where you are today in your health, this is your subconscious mind's perception of perfect health. Even if consciously you know that you can be leaner, fitter, stronger, healthier, even if consciously you know this, subconsciously your body is holding on because this is where it feels safe. So as you are going through this journey, you are going through the journey of redefining what a safe body is.
Okay, so you reframe, create a safe mind and habits and rituals, but then what after 24 weeks? So let's say we've lost the 10 kilos, we're halfway. What are you looking to consider with that person, or strategies or tools after you've built the habits? They're starting to find it's easier. The unconscious mind is now reframed for success. Do you continue to push? They're now in these habits like, oh, let's do another 10 kilos. Or do you reevaluate and reframe with them after 24 weeks?
What's the vision, Carl? We come back to what's the vision. And remember, ambition, you reach your maximum effort and you make that normal and you keep going. And that's the beauty of this journey that we're all on, of growth and development and becoming our best selves. Like, what do you really want to achieve in this lifetime? Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? What do you want to give? Because again, I believe that health is our foundation to all of those things. When you have your health, you can then focus and give out energy everywhere else. If you don't have your health, if you're not your best, healthiest self, well, you're not going to reach your potential anywhere else. So it's about the vision. It's about those goals, those intentions that we set in the first session together. What is your intention? What do you want to get out of working with me? Where do you see yourself in 6 months, 12 months time? What are the outcomes? How are you feeling? What's going to be different because you've worked with me? So it's always coming back to, what is your purpose here?
So if we were to probably just summarize that whole journey with someone working with yourself, is you're looking to understand the individual, where they want to go over that spectrum of time, looking to find their best self, utilizing the pillars, understanding gut health, and including breath work with fortnightly check-ins. Then at the end of that journey is reevaluating, reestablishing, and reassessing new highs, new goals, new ambitions for them to go to that next level. Because obviously it's a journey and a process. And at the same time is also being like candid or being appreciative of that process, to know that, we've got Reese, Bianca, if you're we're following them and like, wow, I should be able to achieve that. It's like, yeah, that's nice. But like, let's talk about what you can achieve, and let's be realistic in yourself and your potential before, and like, just maybe learn from these other people rather than go, that's what I have to do in 24 weeks.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, for everybody, it's going to look differently. The journey is going to look different. The way we get there is going to look different. The outcome's going to look different. And it's really, how do I
maybe have your and Bianca's beautiful hair, maybe.
And the other thing I really want to highlight is, if I, like, Carl, I bounce clients off you all the time. I'm like, okay, so this person wants to get more into the specifics. They want to be more athletic. They want to get more dialed in. And I'm like, I have a coach for that. His name is Carl. So go speak to him. Like, I don't deal with this stuff by myself. If I want to dial in, get leaner, get stronger, it's Carl. That's his expertise. Like, I'll get you to this point. And then in terms of performance, athleticism, if we're dialing in, I'm going to be referring on.
It's really working within the own realms. Cool. Well, talking on own realms, let's now talk into the hormonal PCOS macros understanding realm with Bianca. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into that episode. Hope you really enjoyed it. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and also to share so we can help more people. Now, with your pen, you've probably written down heaps of things, but the things, like myself, like there's blank pages, but pages, got lots of notes. What are the top 3 that you got out of today's episode? If 3 is too much, action on one thing and just see how it goes for you for this week, and make amendments and adjustments so you're constantly improving and refining and moving forward in your health, your training, your life. If you ever get stuck, reach out to us at info@vitruvianhealth.com.au. Always here to help. Till next time, adios amigos.